is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. We have our Lindsay Granger back in the studio.
What's going on?
Hey.
You know, I'm getting announced on every show. I really appreciate you and Jeff so much for the announcement. I think I hope you guys know who I am at this point.
They do, but we're very proud of you for your work on The View. We thought you were excellent.
Thank you so much, Tori. I
Excellent.
appreciate
And
you.
nothing about me. Let's do the show.
And Al's here.
Al got a good turtleneck on today, nice and sharp.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Ron Burgundy. All right, today marks 1 month since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. President Biden is in Europe today, meeting with other world leaders to discuss NATO's response to the war. There's also some news that the U.S. has assembled a team of national security officials called the Tiger Team. Their job is, Al doesn't like that name. Their job is to figure out how we should respond if Russia uses chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons. Meantime, Ukrainian President Zelensky is asking people all over the world to take to the streets to protest Russia's invasion. Take a look at this.
Show your standing. Come from your offices, your homes, your schools and universities. Come in the name of peace. Come with Ukrainian symbols to support Ukraine, to support freedom, to support life.
What do you guys think about him speaking in English and addressing the entire world?
I mean, I agree with this. I've had the same sentiments that the whole world should stand up when George Floyd was killed. And I thought, when they did and we were all inside and people still risked their lives because of the pandemic, to step outside and take a stance for Black people, it was important for me. And so I understand why he's saying when the whole world protests, it sends a very, very loud message. So I get that. And then also I think with Biden going and having the meeting, we want to know what's happening. I think people want to know, when there's bombs being dropped 50 miles from Poland, what's our response just in case? I don't think Americans want to know or want to think about, we don't know what's going to happen next. Like, how will we respond in case of emergency? So a lot of people are complaining that Biden's not acting or not tough enough, but I think people just want to be informed.
But, I wonder, Lindsay, because that's a great point. I think we all feel like that. We want to know what's the strategy here. But I'm worried. I wonder, not that I'm worried, I wonder if the issue is with our strategy. If we say, if a bomb goes off in Poland, then we'll do this. If it happens, now we're beholden to it. And I wonder if we're so scared of having to lock horns with Russia that we're going to avoid any at all costs, because I think there's something inside of all of us that knows, because we've been watching this for a month. Mm-hmm. If we have to lock horns with them, a lot of people are going to die.
Yeah,
it's really terrifying. And at least I'm happy our world leaders are scared of that as well.
Yeah, World War III is not an easy thing to think about.
Yes.
Exactly. So, very, very, very scary. And let us know what you guys think. We also want to talk about the fourth and final day of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's confirmation hearing. And yesterday, there was a very moving moment. It was lovely for me, between Senator Cory Booker and Judge Jackson. A lot of people said this. Take a look.
You got here how every Black woman in America who's gotten anywhere has done by being, like Ginger Rogers said, I did everything Fred Astaire did, but backwards in heels. It's hard for me not to look at you and not see my mom, not to see my cousins, one of them who had to come here and sit behind you. You have earned this spot. You are worthy.
Wow. That was a moment. That was a moment. Some of the strongest criticism of Judge Jackson had to do with her being soft on crime, specifically in her sentencing of a few child pornography cases. But after 4 days of sometimes very tense hearings, what do you think will happen? Will Judge Jackson be confirmed? We want to know what you think. DBL Nation, go to dblvote.com and let us know if you support her confirmation to the Supreme Court or not. So please vote while we're speaking. I think she'll pass. I think there has been already bipartisan for her. Lindsey Graham already voted for her to be confirmed as a United Court of Appeals judge. I think a lot of this was performative, like Al says. all right, go through. I think that's really what's going to happen. Do you guys want to speak on that? And also about Cory Booker.
Well, I think a Court of Appeals judge is different than a Supreme Court justice. That's a lifetime appointment. And so I think we should be tough on her, just like we asked. The ask that I always have is that black women are in the room. And so a black woman should have been in the space way before Ketanji Brown Jackson was in the room. But since she's there, yes, we're not going to just skate her through, even though she has a seamless resume. We're going to ask tough questions. And I think that, yeah, a lot of it was covered in theatrical performance, but there were real conversations to be had, not about the pornography, because I think that's a baseless claim, but really about some of the things like Guantanamo Bay and other questions that were asked on where she stands, just like we did with other justices in the past. This is hardly the first ever contentious hearing, and I don't think it's even the most contentious, knowing that we're in the middle of precipice of perhaps a war. So I don't think everybody's 100% focused on this in the way that when we had less things going on, we literally harped on Supreme Court justice hearings for a long time and made them way more intense.
Do you think she'll get confirmed?
I do, 100%.
You do. What do you think, Al?
100%. I think she will, and that's why I want to focus on what Cory Booker said. Because when he said that to her, Linz, it reminded me of what I said when I saw that clip talking about my mother and what I witnessed as a young kid. My mom got her PhD in organizational behavior in 1990. So, I mean, you think about how that would be received even in the 2000s. So 10 years before that, I mean, the idea of a black single mom getting her PhD was unheard of. Huge. It was like going to the moon. Like, there were very few people that did that. And I look and I realize, like the way Cory was talking to Judge Jackson, that's how we all feel, because when you see it, and you see it day to day, year to year, the hard work. I remember just walking past, and this is before the internet, when you could say, I need to look this up, let me just type this into Google, when you had to go to the library and bring home a book that was as big as your head to find something. I mean, the boots on the ground, the hours that it takes while dealing with a close family member that had severe undiagnosed mental illness and a young Al. It was unbelievable what she did, and I think that's where that emotion that we saw from Cory come from. And I know that some people say, well, how is that not performative? But what Lindsey Graham is, there was an honesty to what he's saying. I don't think there's any honesty to us thinking that Judge Brown is pro-child pornography. And I don't think any rational person thinks that. So
what I thought Cory Booker did, which was I also think she'll be confirmed. Do you think she'll be confirmed? Was he broke the tension of like this very highly like contentious thing, and he just kind of took it to a personal human level of like, I know what it means to sit in that seat, and she just started crying because you have to sit there like this. It's a lot of
And you saw her face when she was getting asked certain questions. It was the face, I'm trying my best.
That's right. And a lot of people said a lot of women of color have had to make that face when they're like, a lot of underqualified people are asking. So for her, it was a break, I think. And he goes, you only have 5 more people to go. You're doing great. And it was a really human to human moment instead of like what it normally is just such a hot seat for everyone, Democrats and Republicans.
And being asked those questions now when she goes and probably gets confirmed, like we all think is going to happen, she can go in there and I don't want to hear a word from anybody. And that was my main point, is that we're done. You asked all your questions, so we're good.
It's exactly right. Let's see what the audience says. 90% of you supports Judge Jackson's confirmation to the Supreme Court. 9% of you do not. Thanks for voting. We appreciate that. Coming up on DBL, our interview with identical twin sisters who are married, wait for it, to identical twin brothers. They tell us how their unique relationship started, and a leaked training pamphlet at a Home Depot, sparking a debate. Should people be checking their privilege at work? Stay tuned for this one.
Closed captioning provided by...
This March, connect with Al, Lindsay, Erica, Jeff, and Tori. Exciting! Real conversations are on DBL.
Man, you guys want all the smoke with these hard questions.
DBL, all new every day.
We're on.
They have the votes in the House, so it's a done deal, said Just Me, and I personally am glad that a lot of people are saying Republican senators, it was good to see them go kind of bonkers because it provides more videos. Her facial expressions were everything. People were making Claire Huxtable, they were putting up next to famous sort of like black mom when Theo does something wrong, and she's just like,
or she's like,
show Lindsay
or something like that, and she was like, can you do what? That episode where she was like,
with
I'm
you know,
sorry,
it's just
cockroach.
like, yeah.
What? Remember cockroach?
But it's hard for anybody to like. Well, I don't know. People tell me like. You tell me all the time, like, what's wrong?
Right.
Because I can't, like, I'm pretty a happy person. So, like, if I'm pretty straight faced, either I'm thinking about something, it doesn't have to be wrong. But you could tell if the energy is just.
Yeah, my dad is prepping right now someone to be up for Australian ambassador. Someone really big, someone really exciting. It's not. But they do practice, rehearsals. And the entire time, it's all about what does your face look like? The optics. It almost doesn't matter the answers now. It's can you keep that?
It seems like that's how they train you at the FBI,
Exactly.
probably.
Like I have a thing.
It's hard to hide.
You have to think about happy things. Like I'm
like
gonna
funny
be.
you asked that. It should be like.
I'm having a margarita.
I bet you that's what good salespeople have.
Yes.
It's just like, no matter how rude. Look, it's not about whether I can fit the dress. You look great in it.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to kill you.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
keep that face,
Totally.
you'll, top sales.
And
it's
it's
a
really
thing.
hard to do. And what's funny is Brett Kavanaugh, and this is no shout out, really wasn't keeping it together when he came in crying and was like, I like beer. So there's a meme going around being like, God, men are so emotional. And it's her sitting there like this and him being like, oh.
So I have to say, when I saw the clip of Cory Booker by itself without watching the whole thing, I thought it was a little theatrical.
Me too.
But watching the whole thing
You had to get
helped me.
context.
Yeah, get context.
You know that but don't you think he knew that was. Welcome back. This is going to be a good one. We've talked a lot about the culture wars.
I fought in them.
You did it. You did it.
I'm a veteran.
You're such a liar. And one of the biggest new fault lines is woke culture. And y'all know I don't like that, how it's backfired. Well, now a viral post has sparked another woke war online. This time, Home Depot is the target. An employee training pamphlet leaked on social media. And now people are accusing the company of being too woke. So it asks employees to check their privileges. One of the privileges mentioned, white privilege. It says if you're confident the police exist to protect you, you have white privilege. It also mentions Christian privilege, which is when people expect to have the day off for religious holidays. Home Depot responded, saying that this pamphlet had not even been cleared by corporate. It's just a resource for employees, not part of any required training. Also, I do want to let you know I read up on this, and it was in Alberta, Canada, and that's where it came from. So I wanted to give everyone the context. They also list things like this, guys. If you don't worry about how to get into a store, you've able-bodied privilege, talking about people in wheelchairs or disabled. And if you can use public bathrooms without stares, fears, or anxiety, you have cisgender privilege. Is this something to be talking about at work? Or are you Home Depot? No.
I'm trying to figure out if it wasn't like a corporate initiative, like who just randomly printed out pamphlets and decided where they're going to hand them out, and like how was that allowed? Because as somebody who's
I'm like, have you been to any major city?
Yeah.
Crazy people in
no,
every
but there was an
corner.
employee that wasn't worried about like any repercussions. Like there's and I'm saying this because I'm on the diversity team at Tegna, and so I'm telling you that there's a very long conversation about how it's presented to employees, so that we can have a dialogue about how to work better together. Because it's important for adults to understand where they lack in communication. Because a lot of times the problem is not that we're so different. The problem is that we don't know how to communicate well, because we don't go through the same experiences. And so how can you explain that to people without them getting so defensive that it's lost and falls on deaf ears? And that's a lot of what we're trying to tackle. And so that, to me, like
it's
just putting it out there is just a pamphlet, like, you know, it's a person in Philadelphia handing out. Yeah. I went to school in Philadelphia. So people were handing out a lot of things.
Here,
that just seems,
throw this away.
That seems ridiculous.
That's the problem, Lindsay. It's like you're on a committee that probably sits down, brainstorms, how do we want to present this information in the most palatable way? And that's because you have a process. This seems like a pamphlet that was made at somebody's house with a printer, and they clearly have biases as they're trying to talk about bias. There's there's only one religion mentioned, what we've shown. There's only one race that we've shown. Is there some truth to that?
Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Is there truth in a lot of other things that weren't covered on there? Yes. And if you are somebody that is benefiting from both those privileges that were mentioned, how are you going to feel saying, I feel like I'm being isolated here? Nobody else has any privilege. What about male privilege, which I have? So it's a thing. If you're going to tackle that major subject, you need to make sure you cover all the bases, because if you alienate people at the outset, you have no chance.
Or get a relatable expert to talk about it. Somebody who studied this work for
So you guys are more angry at the way it was just like thrown in and kind of messy, as opposed to actually the message, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah,
it has to be
but
handled
the message
with kid
doesn't
gloves.
matter if you start wrong.
Right. The message.
You know?
Right.
I don't think that's kid glove. I think handing out a pamphlet with no corporate approval is kid gloves.
Yes, take
it's
this
not kid gloves.
privilege. Get out of here.
Yeah, like, what is that?
You're saying you want more of a structure about it and thoughtfulness to it instead of just like throwing it out there. I see what you're saying. Do you think the message is wrong?
No, I think that adults should understand people's privilege in this world and understand how to operate and why it affects people at work so that we can have better dialogue. That is important.
Right, but not the way it was done.
Right.
With the printer, as Al said.
Yes.
With the printer. Coming up on DBL, two couples who look exactly alike, how these sets of twins ended up together. You've seen her all over the news and on your phone this past week, but just who is Ketanji Brown Jackson? Well, she was born in 1970 in my hometown of D.C. to two public school teachers. They gave her an African name, Ketanji Onyeka, which means the lovely one. Now, it was after the family moved to Miami where she really started making some moves, like being elected student body president of her high school class and becoming a debate superstar. Now, despite her guidance counselor warning her not to set her sights too high, she set her sights to soar after high school, attended Harvard, and graduated magna cum laude. Side note, while at Harvard, she also took drama classes and partnered with Matt Damon, of all people. She didn't stop there, though. It was on to Harvard Law School, where she also graduated cum laude and was editor of the Law Review. But more importantly, this is where she met her future hubby, Patrick. Patrick is now a surgeon at Georgetown University Hospital in D.C., so hashtag power couple. They also have two lovely children, Layla and Talia. After Harvard, she clerked for several judges, including Supreme Court Justice Breyer in '99. Now here's where her path differs from most. Miss Jackson served as a D.C. public defender, which is a huge deal. You see, usually Supreme Court justices have histories like working as big shot prosecutors or for super rich corporate clients, but a public defender represents clients who are literally too poor to afford a lawyer. And if confirmed, she will be the very first federal public defender on the Supreme Court ever. And she loves to knit. She's my kind of woman. And her motto is, do what you need to do before what you want to do. Now, if confirmed, she will be one of 4 women on the court, the most of any time in history, and the very first African-American woman on the bench ever. Now you know. It's always Tuesday for these sets of twins that met in Twinsburg. You're not going to want to miss this conversation all about the life of being an identical twin married to identical twins. Check it out.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get into it. Brianna, you all have a very unique situation, clearly. So what are some of the most asked questions that bug you? I can already think of some that I want to ask you that I'm sure you're like, okay, I've heard it a million times.
Sure. So I think one of the questions we get that's a little bit comical but can be a little bit frustrating is, are you all married and do you all share a bedroom? Because the answer is, of course, no. I'm married to my husband, Jeremy, and Brittany's married to her husband, Josh. And so we're monogamous marriages, but we do raise our children together and we all live under one roof.
All right, now I have to look, Jeremy, I'm coming to you and I need some clarification here. All right, so Jeremy, I need you to tell myself and everybody else included, how did Brittany end up with Josh and you ended up with Brianna?
Well, when we first met in Twinsburg, we started talking as a group, the 4 of us, and just as that conversation progressed, we just split into twos, and it happened to be that those 2 were together and me and Brianna were together. And it just kind of happened naturally like that.
Wow. Right.
And so there was no having to choose one or something like that.
Right.
It just happened really naturally.
Just a quick question. Did you guys meet at Twins Days in Twinsburg?
You got it, yes.
You know that place?
Yes, my father lived in Aurora, which is the community right next door. So I grew up knowing Twins Day my whole life. So yeah, I figured that's where you guys met.
Shout out to Twins Day.
That's right. Shout out to Twinsburg.
All right, Brittany, I'm coming to you for this one. Do you have any funny stories of confusing each other, accidentally making a move on the wrong twin?
Ooh.
Well, there's been times when I've seen, one of the others go up to the wrong twin and they're about to hold hands or, give a kiss, but it hasn't gone that far, luckily. But for me, I remember it was our anniversary And I wanted to do this really romantic post about how Josh was the love of my life. And so I found my favorite photo from our wedding day where we're kissing, and I posted it and I said, you know, baby, I love you. This is such a magical moment of us kissing on our wedding day. And Josh came in and said, thanks, but you posted a picture of Brianna and Jeremy kissing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's amazing. That's hilarious. All right, I'm reading a book on boundaries. It's called Set Your Boundaries and Feel Peace, which is exciting. I want to talk about boundaries because you live in your business, Smith Mountain Manor, and you all raise your individual sons like brothers. So I would love to know, what kind of boundaries do you set with each other, or do you live in a boundary-less place? Well said.
Of the estate, you know, the venue definitely helps. There's multiple kitchens, and so that does help. We have had to set some boundaries because as twins, when it's just each other, the two of us, like I don't like to do that because it's like we share everything. So like we share a closet with our respective twin, but you share a bedroom with your respective spouse,
Nice.
and so that can be a little bit difficult.
If you couldn't tell, Al and I are also twins. So do you guys do this on a daily, or is this just for the interviews, or do you just buy 2 of everything?
We tend to buy 2 of everything, and we tend to prefer to dress alike. We are not the types, we're not gonna have a nervous breakdown if we're not dressed alike, but especially if we're like going out into the world, our preference is to be identical. Definitely gone in stages when we were kids, we didn't want to be dressed identically, you know, so we always tell parents of young twins who ask us, you know, just whatever your twins want to do. If they want to dress alike, great. If they don't want to dress alike, great. And it doesn't mean that they will or won't when they're adults, apparently.
Thank you so much, Josh, Brittany, Brianna, and Jeremy. DBL Nation, you can
so
get
much.
your fix of the Salyers on Instagram, and their website is smithmountainmanor.com. We'll be right back. Bye, thank you, guys.
Bye.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Recently, several posts have gone viral on social media claiming that while many Americans struggle with inflation or high gas prices, members of Congress have given themselves a salary bump. Here's one that reads, quote, "Our politicians in Congress voted for a 21% pay raise for themselves." So, is that true? Did members of Congress recently give themselves a 21% pay raise? Let's verify. Our sources: the full text of the 2022 spending bill, the full text of the 2021 spending bill, the House Ethics Committee, and the Congressional Research Service. The claims were prompted by the most recent appropriations package, which became law on March 15th. It allocated just over $774 million for what's called members' representational allowances. The previous year's bill allocated $640 million to that fund, meaning the new bill increased it by exactly 21%. But that fund does not actually have anything to do with salaries for elected officials. It's more like an overall expense budget for their offices. It can go to things like supplies, paying the rent on their district offices, and salaries for their staff. It cannot be used for personal or campaign reasons. Some members of Congress said one of the main reasons they wanted to increase this fund was so they could start paying their staff more and stop losing them to better paying jobs. As for the salaries for the members themselves, those haven't changed in more than a decade. In 2009, Congress gave itself a 2.8% raise, making their salary $174,000 a year. And that number has not changed since. So, we can verify, no, members of Congress did not just give themselves a 21% pay raise. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
This March, connect with Al, Tori, Erica, Jeff, and Sam. Oh my gosh. Lively discussions.
Absolutely is not essential.
Yes, it is. Fun guests. Are you a drummer? Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Always bringing the laughs.
Can me or Jeff host? I'm out.
Real conversations are on DBL.
Man, you guys want all the smoke with these hard questions.
Yeah. DBL, all all new every day.
Who's got a phone? Get those phones out because it's time to shop these deals from our friends at Morning Save. Take a look. There's a code.
QR.
All right, Steph, what do you have for us today?
Hey, Tori, and hi, DBL Nation. I've got some amazing products and even better deals just for you guys, and you're gonna love this. First up, we've got Remy Electric Vacuum Sealer Machine.
Whoa.
So this deal includes 1 vacuum sealer, 1 vacuum tube, 1 vacuum roll, and 5 vacuum bags.
Wow.
Normally, this is as much as $90, but we've got it for only $29, which saves everyone at home 68%. Now, Tori, you know I love it when we get in Cuisinart. We've got the Cuisinart Elemental 8-cup food processor. The deal includes 1 food processor, and this product is designed to perform just about any food prep task a recipe calls for. So normally it's $185, but we've got it for only $79, which saves everyone at home 57%. Now, Tori, we've got Laura Ashley Volumizing Blowout Dryer Brush. The deal includes 1 dryer brush. It's so simple because you can dry and style your hair at the same time. So normally it's $59, but we've got it, Tori, for $29.
Yes.
Saving everyone 51%. And last but certainly not least, we've got a Duro Surge Duo Dual USB and Dual Surge charging station. So this deal includes 1 charging station available in white and grey, as well as white and black. So normally this is $50, but we've got it, Tori, for $19.
Ooh.
I know, so everyone at home can power up on everything at home for 62% less.
Head on over to morningsave.com. You know what to do to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. And you can even visit morningsave.com right on your smartphone, or, as you know, the fancy new QR code. You can scan it right on the screen. Thank you so much, Steph. It is a cool idea. Now, Lindsay, before we go, you have to tell us about guest hosting on The View.
Yes.
Well, what was it like?
Listen, let me tell you, Whoopi was amazing. All the hosts were amazing, and it was an awesome experience to sit down with people that are legends, really, in our industry. I grew up watching The View. Joy has been on there since the beginning. Sarah and Sunny were sharp as swords, making me really practice my stuff. And so I just got to say thank you to you guys, though, because DBL is really the place where I learned how to have a hard conversation. Al, you showed me how to laugh at the end of it. Tori showed me how to really sharpen my sword, and so I wouldn't be able to do anything without having come here. So thank you guys.
Lindsay. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't be a hater.